On the vast green steppe of the Ice Age, beneath the dim sunlight piercing through the thin mist, a woolly mammoth calf is born, wobbling by its mother's side. Barely 1 meter tall and weighing about 100 kg, covered in soft, light brown fur, it appears fragile and delicate next to her towering frame. With no tusks, only a tiny clumsy trunk, it gently reaches for the grass, discovering the harsh frozen world for the first time. As time passes, the calf grows, tusks begin to sprout, its body becomes sturdier, and the one sweet creature matures into a giant weighing tons with majestic curved ivory, a true symbol of power on the steppe. At adulthood, they reach over 4 meters tall, weigh 5-6 tons, and are covered in thick layered fur to endure brutal cold. Their massive 4-meter tusks extend forward, serving both as weapons and as tools to dig through snow for precious food. With colossal size and unmatched strength, mammoths became rulers of the icy plains, guiding their herds across endless meadows. Moving with solemn majesty, adults swept grass, dug frozen soil for roots, or cleared snow to uncover dry vegetation, while calves trotted beside their mothers, mimicking every move. During rest, the herd formed a circle, shielding the young at the center. When migrating, they lined up in long processions, crossing vast horizons. Deep roars echoed and thunderous footsteps shook the earth, the eternal rhythm of these gentle giants who once reigned over the frozen grasslands of the Ice Age. But the short summer quickly passed, and the cold winds returned, carrying the breath of ice. The sky darkened, gray clouds gathered, and the first snowflakes of the season began to fall, blanketing the vast steppe in white. Yet the mammoth herd marched on, their massive curved tusks and powerful trunks tirelessly scraping through the thick snow, uncovering patches of dry grass and precious roots to sustain the herd through the harsh season. Amid the biting winds, new calves were born. Small and fragile, barely over 1 meter tall, their thin coats of downy fur offered little protection as their tiny bodies shivered in the blizzard. But at once the mammoth herd formed a great protective circle, shielding the newborns. The mothers used their immense bodies as living walls against the wind, while the ants of the herd took turns standing guard, ensuring the calves could cling to warmth and drink nourishing milk. In the merciless cold of the Ice Age winter, life still found a way. The deep, resonant calls of the herd rose and mingled with the howling winds, a hymn of survival sung across the frozen wilderness. And in those days when snow veiled the earth, the unity and maternal bond of the mammoths became the flame that preserved life, allowing new generations to endure upon the boundless steppe. As the icy winter arrived, snow blanketed the vast steppe. The green grass vanished beneath layers of frozen ground, leaving a cold and unforgiving world. Amid the sea of white, the mighty mammoth herds pressed on with resilience. The adults lowered their massive heads, using their curved tusks and powerful trunks to scrape away the snow, uncovering patches of dry grass and precious roots. Patiently, they foraged for every morsel, sharing what little they found to survive the hunger. In the blinding whiteness, the sound of snow being shoveled mixed with their deep, resonant calls, a defiant challenge to the merciless winter of the Ice Age. Over time, the calves grew, rising to more than 4 meters tall and weighing tons, clad in thick shaggy coats and crowned with majestic tusks. When maturity came, the males left their mothers' herds and faced brutal battles for dominance. On the snow-covered plains, 2 colossal bulls clashed with thunderous roars, their tusks crashing together, sending clouds of snow exploding into the air. Each strike and shove shook the frozen earth, while the herd stood in a tense circle, watching. The battle raged until one fell, yielding to the stronger. The victor emerged as leader, guiding the herd through the harsh winters and protecting the young. These duels were not just struggles for power but acts of survival, where only the strongest could continue writing their legend upon the frozen steppe. On the vast snow-covered steppe, silence is suddenly shattered as a pack of wolves bursts from the blizzard. They sprint across the frozen ground, golden eyes blazing like fire, breath steaming in the icy wind, closing in on the mighty mammoth herd. Too small to bring down the giants together, the wolves fall back on their cruelest tactics, circling, dividing, and striking at the weak. The helpless calves press tightly against their mothers. At once, the adult mammoths thunder with a roar that shakes the air. They close ranks, forming an unbreakable circle of defense. Colossal feet pound the earth, trembling the ice beneath. Gleaming tusks slice through the storm while massive trunks crash down with terrifying force. Again and again, the wolves leap forward, fangs bared, only to be hurled aside, their agonized howls carried away by the wind. Each strike of tusk and trunk leaves streaks of crimson staining the endless white. The clash is fierce, merciless, echoing through the frozen wilderness. Yet the mammoths stand unyielding, their young shielded within. At last, the wolves falter, their frenzy broken, their courage drained. The pack scatters into the storm, trails of blood marking their retreat. The mammoths remain, towering and defiant, their circle still unbroken, living monuments to unity, strength, and survival in the heart of the Ice Age. From the far north, a colossal snowstorm sweeps down upon the steppe. The skies darken, storm clouds coil and twist, and the wind screams like an unseen beast. Blinding waves of snow rise and swirl, striking the frozen ground with fury, as if determined to erase all signs of life. Each blast of wind cuts like icy blades, turning the vast plains into an unforgiving battlefield. The mammoth herd senses the threat instantly. With instincts honed through thousands of years, they shift formation. The females and the mighty leader march forward, lining up side by side, forming a living wall against the storm. Their thunderous steps send tremors through the snow, while behind them the herd closes in tight, a massive circle. At its heart, the calves tremble, their wide eyes filled with fear, pressing into their mothers for warmth, for life. Around them stand the bulls, a final ring of defense. Their great tusks gleam in the storm, their colossal trunks intertwining, binding the herd into one unbreakable force. Deep, resonant roars echo through the white void, not only to steady their march but as a defiant cry to nature itself, "We will not fall." But the storm is merciless. The cold cuts through even the thickest coats of fur. Some of the weaker fall behind, their heavy bodies coated in ice, their steps faltering, sinking deep into the snow. Steam pours from their lungs in thick, desperate clouds. Their weary eyes glimmer with despair, their broken roars rise into the storm, cries of helplessness carried away by the howling wind. Yet mammoths never abandon their own. At once, the strongest adults break rank and turn back. They lower their massive tusks into the snow for balance, their towering bodies shielding against the wind. Their trunks wrapped tightly around the fallen, pulling, dragging, lifting them back into the circle. Together they press on, forging step by heavy step, carving a single trail of survival across a frozen wilderness.